Welcome back to my real-time playthrough of Junkyard Builder. So the current point that we're at is that we have moved through the main task list to progress onto the balers here. And to unlock the next one we need $1,500, so we're quite a way adrift of that. So the current format of the game is going to change a little bit. So early on we progressed quite nicely through the different tasks so that we could open up some options. So this is going to become a little bit more grindy now, and I'll pick that up in real time. So we can put 3 of the source materials onto our balers here. And as you can see, it did a little bit of preparation to get those raw materials near to them, and we're going to run out of those fairly quickly at this rate. So to give you an idea of what we need to be able to do, the sawdust is $80 per bag. The paper is 60, so we've got a fair bit of work to do in order to unlock our next baler. So in the meantime, that means that we're going to have to balance out the gameplay with a little bit of maintenance. So the plan for that is that this back area here, we're going to dedicate to storing the various items that we can upcycle. So there are wardrobes and drawers and dressers, all different types, and we need to have the relevant parts to attach onto them. So you can see, for example, here we've got a big wardrobe base. We have the big wardrobe right and left doors, so we're good there. We need the drawers for them. So that's the medium dresser. That's the big wardrobe drawer, so that can go into that pile. So that was the left drawer. So we need the right drawer for the big wardrobe if we've got it. That's a medium dresser. That's a medium dresser. So let's get medium dresser stuff over here. That is a drawer for the medium dresser, so that can go into that pile. That is the right drawer of the big wardrobe. Okay, so I think we've got all the components here to make the big wardrobe. So let's go ahead and do that. So in order to do that, we can pick it up and we can take it into our garage and into the restoration area here. First thing we're going to need to do is give it a good old clean, which you can do via moving your cursor around the object. So as we've said on the previous videos, it doesn't need to be completely perfect. It's quite forgiving, and you can see that the progress bar at the bottom there is updating as we clean the different areas. And so once we've given it a clean, we'll be prompted to then paint it. So that looks like that's the front pretty much taken care of. Move on to the side here. It's a shame that that pattern's disappeared by cleaning it. That's a bit odd. So what we're going to be able to do is maximize our cash essentially. So we could just sell these as they are, and you can see on the screen there that the current object value for this is $40. So if we didn't do anything with it at all, we would get $40. Once we have cleaned it, we'll see whether that value increases. But what we're going to do is we're going to fully restore this because we've got all the component pieces for it. Okay, so we're missing a section here. What haven't we cleaned? Quite a bit actually. So we missed a fair old area there. So I said this was quite unforgiving. Quite forgiving. But it has He's wanting us to make sure that we capture every nook and cranny here. That looks like it's pretty much done actually. So we'll just go around it again. We've got a little on-screen prompt there to say that our processing is finished. That actually looks like I've done all of that, so I'm not sure what we are missing unless it's the top. I've not actually done one of these before. So this clearly an area that we have missed somewhere, so we'll just go around the unit. I wonder if I need to, let's put this down. And we'll pick this up. Oh, that's interesting. So by removing it, we completely undid everything that we just did. Well, there's a top tip inadvertently. So don't move it out of your restoration area until you have completed it. The reason I was trying to move it out is that it didn't show as being completely clean, and I wondered whether that was the top of the unit, which clearly I cannot reach at the moment. Or not from this. So once we place it into the restoration area, it makes it upright, as we can see. So you would assume that means that you can access all the relevant bits that you need to clean. So let's be a bit more organised this time around. So that's all looking good there. The back of the cabinet and the drawers in there. Looks like the rails as well. Need a good old clean. So whilst I originally said this was fairly unforgiving, you can see that in this instance we are having to make sure that we cover all those areas. So that looks like, as far as I can see, that is all of the front areas of the cabinet done. Progression bars looking good. That side's looking good. Let's make sure we do this side properly. So we'll get a bit closer. Hopefully, once we've done the back, that is this completely cleaned. So, as I'd said before, the value that we'd get for not actually doing anything to the cabinet is $40. Beautiful. So that is fully clean. So that worked out okay in the end. So what we established there is that we don't need to clean the top of the cabinet. We don't really want to take it out of the clean area because you will have to start all over again. I'll choose a nice orange colour for this one. Not sure that's the exact colour, but you know. So again, the colour won't have any impact upon the price that you can get for it. Give this a good old spray, make sure we get all those areas again. Similar to our cleaning, we need to make sure we hit all these areas in order to complete this. And we're going to have to do the same with the drawers as well. There is a bit of work involved here. It'll be interesting to see how much we get for the whole thing, because we're probably going to have to invest a little bit of time, as you can see, into these restoration projects. Before we can sell them on. Let's bring it back there. Our percentage completion is looking quite good. hopefully you haven't missed any nooks and crannies. Okay, well that completed it for us quite nicely. Paint gun goes back automatically, so we can pop that into the restoration area like so, and go and grab our other components. So what you might have seen as well is that on our little heads up display there, we saw that we had some trash delivered. So what we should really do, and I'll try and tackle this for the videos in some sort of order. So we will complete the restoration of that cabinet, but just in case you didn't watch the previous videos, we do get deliveries of trash periodically. So we've got a metal stove there. Don't know whether that's something that we could potentially restore. We got some good stuff there that we need to move, so I won't get too sidetracked with that at the moment. We will need to move our processed goods as well at some point. So I'm just going to set the next baler going just while I'm here. And top tip there is that paper is paper regardless of what format it is in. So whereas I went through my garage and cleared up every scrap of paper to try and sell everything, you could put literally one scrap of paper into the baler and it would be recognized as one object. So you could save yourself having to process all your cardboard boxes. Okay, so let's repeat this process. Let's give this a clean. This should be a lot bit easier this time. It's not such a big area to cover. As you can see there that it auto completed a fair old bit for us there, and it's shifted us straight onto paint. That's nice. Stick with the same colour so we can turn this around quickly. Nice peach colour cabinet, and there we go. That was nice. That's done that fairly quickly. That was a nice bit of assistance. Pop that onto there, and you can see there that the object value has now gone up to $110 from $40. Let's get the other door and give that a clean in the paint. Put in, clean it. Nice. Straight onto paint. That was very quick indeed. And so, as you'd expect on simulator games, there's various upgrades that we can unlock as we go through to make life a little bit easier. They, of course, also cost money. Pop that on. We'll grab our big wardrobe drawers. In you go. Quick clean, scrub it up. Paint. Try and get this one flipped quite quickly. Pop that in. Last one. And for today's playthrough, certainly for this video, I only have a limited amount of time. So I shall finish this bit and then we'll sell our processed materials and see what we're left with. Okay, paint gun. Beautiful, all done. Pop that in for our completed object. Like And that's complete. If we go to grab this from the front, it will take the drawers and the doors off. So let's grab it from here, shift it into our warehouse or our storage. That means that we can go onto the marketplace and sell it. So we make a nice little profit there. So $330 for the big wardrobe there. So that's time well invested. And what we'll do is, just to round off this video, I'm just going to take these bits out. I'd have to put them in there, hadn't I, to move them. So let's do that on the way. So a bit of multitasking to do here. So we know we're going to be putting further machines in that area. I've started to build a little bit of a storage area to kind of group the different materials together. Oops, I always press that button. So we'll carry on with that. We'll put all our iron over here, and then, oops, I didn't press throw. So let's get our processed materials, because it's starting to pile up over here. Pick them up. Oh, wow. That was something. So we did spend some money to upgrade the cart capacity. That felt like a good use of money to be able to tidy the yard up. So whereas before we could kind of focus on one particular upgrade at a time, there's a couple of different things on the go at the moment. So I think what we need to do for the next video is focus on what's currently in the yard that we could refurbish and sell, so that we can get towards that $1,500. So let's empty the cart here into our storage. So again, we can upgrade the capacity for our storage as well. I think that's 10 items at the moment. Once we've reached capacity, it will tell us. Hopefully we can get these in. Let's see how much we can sell those for. So back onto the marketplace, and we can get $480. Okay, so not as slow as I thought it was going to be originally. So we were $261. We needed 1,500 to be able to buy our next bit of machinery. I'm going to set the next baler going, but as you can see, we're now reaching the point in the playthrough where we have used a fair bit of what was originally in the yard in terms of raw materials to convert into money. Wood, we have just one pallet left. Not sure what else is wood around here. I don't want to be putting the cabinet pieces in there because, as we saw, we can upgrade those. These cardboard boxes, let's just have a look. Is that going to be... No, that's going to be recognised as paper. Of course it will. I was going to say we could have put that into the wood. So I think that is pretty much all we can gather from the original resources in terms of wood without those, without kind of missing out on potential upgrades. So that will just about do it for this video. So just to recap, we are moving towards our next piece of machinery. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move all of these vehicle shells into the area at the back of the garage here, so that what we can do is we can start to restore those, because we're going to need to do that on this bit here in the garage. We've also started to group together our different bits of cabinets, and as you saw, we were able to refurb one and make a good bit of cash out of it. I'll then go about moving the different materials into piles. So we've got quite a lot of plastic boxes here, which we don't currently have the machinery to convert. We've got some metal cans, which I'm sure are going to come in useful as we unlock that bit of machinery as well. And over at the yard here, we've got some more car parts, which we've started to make a pile for. We'll move those, similar to the cabinets, into the different piles of related vehicles. Metal stove. That doesn't look like it's going to be restorable. But what we'll do is let's take it over anyway to our garage, just to finish up the video by seeing whether it is something that could be restored, or we just basically need to sell for its face value. So if we can restore it, then it should give us the opportunity to place it into this area, which, as you can see, it doesn't. So no, that's not a restorable item. So we could have moved that into our metal dumpster, or we can put it into our storage as we've done, and then we can sell it there. So you can see $90. Okay, so that will do it for this current playthrough. I will be picking this back up and continue to capture the footage in real time. Hope it's something that you've enjoyed. I am trying to grow the channel, so every thumbs up is very much appreciated. If you can hit that subscribe button, that would help me out massively, and I will hopefully see you in future videos. Thank you again for watching.